Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. If you're preparing for the KLEE exam and you feel that English comprehension, editorials, or passage based questions are confusing or difficult, this video is exactly for you. In this session, we are going to take a real newspaper editorial and break it down sentence by sentence in very simple English. I will explain what each line means, why it is written that way, and how examiners expect you to understand it. This is extremely important for KLEE CLAT aspirants because many English questions in KLEE or CLAT exams are directly based on these editorials, especially passages related to law, economy, global affairs, and public policies. By watching this video, you will not only understand this editorial but will also learn how to approach any difficult passage in the exam, how to identify the main ideas, infer meanings, and handle vocabulary questions confidently. So don't just watch this video. Don't just watch this as a video. Watch it as a practice for KLEE exam. Let's begin. What I have here in front of you today on my screen uh, is a editorial from today's newspaper, The Hindu. Is what I would recommend for anyone who's preparing for KLEE exam. Here, today's article we have de-dollarization fear. Let's see what it means. I'll try to explain each sentence line by line, right, in simple English. De-dollarization fear means fear that the world is moving away from the US dollar. US's move on oil reflects its uneasiness over global trade and finance. That means America's action related to the oil shows that it is worried about the changes in the world trade system, trade and money system. First paragraph says President Donald Trump's urgency to push the Russia's sanctions bill through Congress, granting him the power to impose tariff of up to 500% on nations buying oil from Moscow, is officially framed as a punitive measure to weaken Russia's war economy. Simple meaning, Trump quickly wants a law passed that allows him to put a very high taxes on countries who are buying oil from Russia. And you know currently who all are there. China is buying, India is buying. Officially, this is said to be done to hurt Russia's economy during war. Yet, this legislative push comes just after the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on January 3rd. Throughout his briefings thereafter, Mr. Trump emphasized Venezuela's vast oil reserve as America's underlying strategic interest, which means that, you know, Trump repeatedly said that Venezuela's large oil reserves are very important for America and its long term plans. This twin focus on Russian sanction and Venezuelan oil assets suggests that the both measures are less about geopolitical penalization and more about protecting the petrodollar's dominance at the time. When its hegemony is eroding, that means its power is losing. That's what it means. That's a nice line. Hegemony means power, right? Which is slowly losing its, slowly weakening, is what eroding suggests. For decades, oil has been priced and largely settled in US dollars. But that system underpinned the dollar's centrality in global finance for much of the late 20th century. But since the sanctions of Russia following 2014 annexation of Crimea and more vigorously after the Ukraine invasion in 2022, major consumer such as China and India have deepened trading arrangements that circumvents the dollar. So that means they are started avoiding using dollars for buying petroleum product, crude oil. India, for instance, India, for instance, imported substantial volume of Russian crude since 2022. Correct, accounting for more than 20% of Russia's war period crude export. Since 2022, India has bought, Russian oil, making up more than 20% of Russian's oil export during the war. But definitely, China has exported even larger. I mean, China purchases are even larger, reflecting in strategy to secure energy at a discount, energy at a discount and experiment with non-dollar settlement mechanism. Yeah. So that simply means that China bought even more oil than India because it wanted cheap energy, and also they wanted to experiment with non-dollar payment mechanism basically. So China's use of yuan in energy trade has significantly enhanced the internationalization of a renminbi. That means to make yuan more accepted worldwide. India has also reportedly begun paying for some Russian crude in yuan, signaling small but telling shifts how global energy commerce is conducted. Meanwhile, the oil market is evolving with global energy transition like EV sales, electric vehicle sales, led by China, are reshaping demand partners. Mr. Trump returned to oil. Mr. Trump's return to oil rhetoric and policy trust must thus be read in the context of this transition, which means Trump's support for oil should be understood as a reaction to the global change. China's strong position in electric vehicles threaten oil companies and also threatens the economy system that kept US powerful. In this light, it is not far-fetched to argue that America's aggressive move in Venezuela is and its hardline strategy against Moscow on oil are aimed more at curtailing China's expanding influence, both in energy market and in pushing alternatives to the petrodollar than at addressing geopolitical grievances. Moreover, the specter of a parallel currency arrangement contemplated by BRICS as a challenge to the mighty dollar further unsettles to the mighty dollar further unsettles tradition dollar centric financial order. Simply, this means that the idea, that BRICS countries may create a new currency scares US and disturbs the dollar-based financial system of its. What is at stake is not merely oil or geopolitics, but the architecture of global trade and finance at the moment of the historic transition. So, so we all understood the issue is not about oil. The issue is about dollar losing its value worldwide. So, my key aspirants, what we need to understand. Let's understand all the difficult words first noted down. Yeah. Understand. Write down the meaning. I've already explained what each sentences mean. But if you do write down meaning of each word, Because see how KLEE exam questions appears, question appears like vocabulary MCQ, the word specter in double inverted commas, and they would ask most nearly means, and then there will be several options given. Now, for example, opportunity. A, opportunity. B, fear. C, celebration. D, certainty. Certainty. So, which of these is the correct answer for it? The word specter. So you must understand. Go back to that line where it said about you know the word specter. The last paragraph you see. Moreover, the specter of a parallel currency arrangement. That means a fear of an alternative currency has been arranged by BRICS. Understood? So like that, learning new vocabularies, it really helps. Not only that, you can enhance your writing skills and speaking skills by doing that. Like there is a sentence. This is a big change in global trade. Now this very same sentence can be written as this signals a historic transition in the architecture of global trade. Means finance, the financial system. Like that, you can write that, or you can write countries are avoiding dollar. How would you write that? Major economies are increasingly circumventing dollar, a dollar based settlement mechanism. This is how uh, we do it. So but before that, so once you read the entire passage, there are certain things I want you to write down as big questions. So first thing, you'll write down all the vocabulary. Then what you need to do is write down these simple questions like simple explanation. Always ask, what is this article about? So we now, as we read, we know that is the article is about America's fear of losing US dollar global power, right? Especially in oil trade, that you know. Then you ask the next question, why is US worried? Because Russia, China, and India are trading oil without using dollar. China uses yuan. India has paid yuan for Russian oil. BRICS countries are discussing alternative currency. So this is trending, and this trend is called de-dollarization. Uh, the process, the phenomenon called de-dollarization. Understood? Ask what is US doing for it? Proposing a huge tariff up to 500% on countries buying Russian oil, right? Taking strong action in Venezuela, talking about a return to oil policy, little over ambitious, I feel. Real reason? Protect the dollar's dominance. Correct. That is what it means. That's what it means. So bigger picture, China dominates EV market, electrical vehicle. You name any vehicle in Kochi only, you'll see most companies are Chinese companies. There's BYD and whatnot. EV reduces oil dependence. This threatens oil demand, dollar-based global finance. So the US actions are more about economic control, not just geopolitics. So the final idea of this article, it is not just about oil or Russia, it is about the future structure of global trade and finance. Correct? Now, core concept that you must remember, like, de-dollarization, petrodollar, hegemony, sanctions, tariffs, global finance architecture. So note down these terms and start writing. I hope you like this video of today. So every day I'll try to post like 2 articles so that it becomes easy for you to refer. Just listen to it. Um, Please feel free to comment if I can improve these videos for you guys. What else you would like to see? Thank you so much.